Oh, it's been great. I mean, fans have been awesome, been super receptive. Family, friends, they've been real happy for me and stuff like that. So I mean, it's been really nice. It's been a really refreshing um, reception, as you said. I mean, the way it went down was it was pretty benign. It just kind of happened. I was fronting the post, went to go get the steal, tipped the ball up in the air, and when I went to land and go and chase it down, it just popped on me. That was it. Um, I kind of knew immediately like what had happened because like people told me like when that stuff snaps, it literally just pops, and I heard the pop. I was like, that's not good. This is probably it. And like it really, honestly, it really broke my heart to be honest. I mean, the year before I tore my MCL, so I didn't get to play much, and when I did come back and play, I was doing well. Started this season off, I was doing pretty well as well. I mean, practices were going well. I was doing well in games and stuff like that. Um, and on top of that, like the team was just a really good team. I mean, we had a good team the year before. Guys who came in that year, they were also great. And like the week before, or yeah, the week before, or something like that, I actually hosted the guys to have a Thanksgiving dinner because it was Canadian Thanksgiving. So I just had the guys over. We had a bunch of food and like we had a great time and stuff like that. And so like the bond was there, the camaraderie was there, like that we had that good team atmosphere, and like I just it was a place that I wanted to be. And then of course, as soon as it happened, I was like, it's early in the season. I'm probably gonna have to go home. I mean, it was smart for me to go home because I mean we have free healthcare and stuff like that. And my mom, she works in the hospital, so she's got a bunch of connections and stuff. And I actually got off the plane and was in for my consult the day after. So like it made sense for me to go home, but it was a really sucky feeling leaving. Definitely. Rehab was crazy. I mean, came home, pretty much had the surgery the week after I got back home. 10 days to be exact. And there was like a lot of bleeding in my knee at first, and I was supposed to go back for a post op 2 weeks after, but like the swelling was just so bad in my knee, like I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything. So like those 2 weeks were just like pretty much pure pain. Um, get to the doctors and he says, basically, you're a trooper because this is like it was a lot of bleeding going on in my knee and stuff like that. So they ended up draining that, and I think it was like a week or two after that, I was at physio, grinding it out, just trying to bend it, like just literally just bend it even the smallest bit, and it was crazy because like you go from running, jumping, you know, changing directions on a dime to not even be able to walk, not even be able to bend your knee and stuff like that. And like so like that was a whole process. Um, it was hella. It was real tough. I mean, going from as fast as I was to being bedridden and dependent on people, it was tough for both me and my family actually. Um, but it was good. Like I had a lot of friends and family come and visit me. There's a lot of people who were really supportive at that time, and that really helped. I mean, every day you have to be in the gym, just getting on the bike, even to move the pedal a quarter circle. Um, and you're doing that for 20 minutes. I mean, it's boring, it's tedious, it's painful, and it's just one of those things where it's like, if you want to keep playing basketball, these are just things you have to do. So I mean, a lot of my rehab tested me mentally more than it did physically, actually. Because I mean, I knew it was gonna eventually come if I just keep working and I keep working and I keep working at it. But I mean, it's hard. It's hard to sit there and do these things that you would think are trivial. I mean, biking, walking, sitting down in a chair without having to, stick your leg out. Um, it's challenging mentally. You get doubts, um, you get discouraged. But I mean, it's one of those things. It's crazy. I mean, Snoop Dogg said it best. You got to pay the cost to be the boss, right? So I mean, it's just that was the price I had to pay if I wanted to keep playing basketball.
So how long does it take you to get back on the court? Even just for shooting, right?
It was supposed to be 6 months, but I was shooting I think 3 or 4 months in. Um, I wasn't allowed to jump, wasn't allowed to run, so it was a lot of sitting in a chair, just form shooting for a lot of it. Around 6 months was when I was able. They said they gave me the okay to move and actually take standstill jump shots. Um, it wasn't until about I think month 8, I would say, was the first time I actually got out and like played some kind of basketball, just like rec league basketball, just to start trying to figure things out. Because I mean, it was like basically having a new knee. I mean, I didn't know what I could do. I didn't know what I couldn't do. I didn't know how strong it was because I hadn't played basketball. I didn't know how comfortable I was gonna be on the floor. So it was a whole bunch of factors that like went into me not playing for a while. But I mean, I was told I wasn't gonna be playing for 10 months. I got out there 8 months, took it very slow, took it very steady, and yeah, about the 10th month was when I got my call to go to Norway. Um, the Norway situation kind of it was a very blessed situation for me because it was they wanted me to come in and they wanted me to continue my rehab. They knew I wasn't fully recovered. They knew I wouldn't be recovered till December. So I got there in September, and the expectation was for me to basically not play, recover, rehab, rest up, all that good stuff. Pardon me. But what ended up happening was because I had started playing, at the 8 month mark, I was like, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. Play 2 games, not realizing that like, or not even not realizing, just being completely ignorant to the fact that playing competitive basketball and playing rec league basketball is two completely different things. I mean, speed, the intensity, the physicality that goes into it, it's all different. And my first I played 3 games when I first got there, and I held my own. But after the games, I couldn't walk. My knee was swollen up to no end. So that went on for a couple months actually, where I was playing 2 3 days and sitting out for a week, 2 weeks, and we just finally came to the conclusion that like you weren't like I wasn't playing until January. Hadn't played for January. I actually came back to Glasgow to visit my girlfriend, she's doing her master's here at Uni Glasgow. So I came and visited her for Christmas. Didn't play any basketball. Didn't do anything. Just rehab. Went back. Started playing again, and again it was the same thing. It was like being on a new knee. It was just different, getting comfortable, being acclimated to running around on my recovered leg. And I mean, just little things like I would notice that like I was fading to my left because I wasn't getting enough lift out of my left leg. So I'm just completely overbalanced, falling over to the left and stuff like that. Just little things like that, and it really threw off my game. I mean, you shoot straight up every time, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, you just can't do it. So that like there was just a lot of adjustment periods between that like January, February stage, and it wasn't until the very end of the season when it started to kind of click and get back to normal and like I felt good planting on my foot, cutting, jumping, doing all those things, changing directions. Um, so like that kind of happened in February, which is coincidentally the end of the or the end of the BLNO, the Norwegian League's regular season. So around that time, I started feeling better. We went straight into playoffs, and I played well in the two games that we had. It's a best of three series, but we lost both games. Played pretty well, um, and that was just the end of it. We lost. I ended up going home or coming here, I should say. I ended up coming here last week. I think on the last Saturday, um, and that's how I ended up here. I came here initially to visit again my girlfriend. I was staying there, and she kind of mentioned like it would be fun to go to a Glasgow game and see your friends, hang out with some people, like Chloe and Jackie Love. They would have loved to see me. So I reached out to Dan and asked for some tickets to the game. He obviously said, "Yeah, of course, anytime." And that conversation ended up basically turning into a conversation about Will and Warren, how they came back, and just how things have been here. And um, it ultimately ended in him asking me if I could, if I was here long enough to be here for the Commonwealth period when Glasgow, you guys are obviously losing guys and stuff. And so it just kind of worked out because I had scheduled my ticket for like the 20th or the 22nd of April, which is right around when the Commonwealth Games ended. So like it just worked out so perfectly. Um, it did like this whole entire thing just came about full circle for real. I mean, my goal when I had gotten injured after my surgery, my goal was to be back, if not in a Glasgow Rocks uniform, back in the BBL or a league as good as the BBL, um, in 3 years. So we're in year two now, and we're at the end of year two, and like I'm gonna be suiting up for my first game in less than a week. So I mean, for me, that's like it's almost surreal that like things worked out almost perfectly. You know, I mean, I'm not sure what's gonna happen next year or anything, but just the fact that I went at the beginning of this year, coming off of an ACL injury, not even know if I'm going to be able to play at all anymore. Coming from not being strong enough or fit enough physically to play in the BBL, getting an opportunity somewhere else, and ending my season back here in a shorter amount of time than I had originally planned to begin with. And it's just, yeah, I mean, it's surreal because it was not an easy process. I mean, like I said, it's like getting used to a new knee. It's basically a new knee. Playing basketball completely different than I've played it before. Um, so it was a lot of adjustments, and I mean, there were times when obviously I was discouraged, and it felt really good. I felt very vindicated in the sense that I worked so hard and like I messed up so many times and like I failed so many times with my rehab and with recovering and with getting back into playing shape, and like just for it all to come full circle and be like, "Okay, you're good enough to be back in this league that you were um, in a short amount of time." Like this whole thing just gave me such like an optimistic feeling about what I can do the year after, like at the end of this year, the year after, because I mean, again, this is my time frame was for next year, for next September, getting back into playing in a really like a top league. Um, so I mean, yeah, it's an optimistic feeling. It feels great being back. Again, the reception that I got even before people knew was amazing. I mean, I came just to the game and I had people greeting me saying it's lovely for me to be back and stuff. And like that stuff means a lot. I mean, you go, especially in this athlete world where they love you when you're doing great and they hate you when you're not. It's really nice to just know that people are actually there to support you and they it doesn't matter if you score 20 points or score 2 points. All they really want is they want good people who do good work and who work hard. And I mean, I appreciate that. I was always built on that. I mean, I was raised like that. So to get that recognition just felt really good, especially after a whole year of being out.